My parents take me to court to get my heart and save my adoptive sister. The judge uses advanced technology to extract our memories. A jury of 100 people decides the verdict. If my parents win the case, my organs will go to them. They think I won't dare to show up for the trial because they think I'm evil. However, everyone is overcome by tears when they see my memories and the truth of what happened. I stepped up to the platform to stand on trial. On the large screen before me, comments flooded in real time. She's the first person brave enough to stand on trial. Criminals will only surrender in the face of irrefutable evidence. The show's about to begin. Before we started, the judge gave me one final warning. Defendant, are you aware of the trial process and understand its consequences? Are you sure you want to go through it? If I were found guilty on trial, I would be euthanized on the spot, and the ownership of my organs would go to my parents. Then, they would be able to use my heart to save Susie Jones. Over at the plaintiff's seat, my biological parents glared at me in disdain. They were so certain that they would win this trial. I couldn't understand why. I was their biological daughter, yet they had spent years tormenting me, loathing me, and hurting me. Now, they even wanted to rip my heart from me. There were plenty of times when I suspected that Susie was their real daughter, not me. Right now, she was seated beside them, a mask and sunglasses covering her face so I couldn't see her expression. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath, then looked at the judge with determination. Let us begin. The judge turned to the plaintiff's bar. Plaintiffs, are you aware that the trial? Before he could finish, Mom interrupted shrilly. We are her parents. How could we possibly lose this case? Just hurry up and get this over with. Susie doesn't have time to waste. And so the trial started. The first charge was brought against the defendant: refusal to fulfill her familial obligations, neglecting her bedridden father, and selfishly indulging in a decadent lifestyle. On the screen, my mother wiped tears from her eyes as she described the details of the charge. Our family was not well off. My father worked tirelessly to put me through school and college, yet when he fell gravely ill, I refused to see him, using the excuse that I was busy with school. I failed to send money for his medical expenses, which caused him to sustain a permanent disability in his left leg. OMG, how cruel. Such an ungrateful brat. What a waste of education. The comments were brutal. The screen showed how my mother kept calling me, even bringing my disabled father to college to look for me, all to no avail. Even the judge frowned at that. On the plaintiff's side, my parents looked smug. I saw Susie lifting her chin slightly. I sat quietly on the defendant's chair as the staff swiftly attached the memory extraction device to my head. Electricity buzzed. I felt a sharp pain stabbing through my brain. I pursed my lips tightly, making no sound. A few seconds later, 2 large words appeared on the screen. Not guilty. The screen was flooded with question marks from the audience. How can she not be guilty? My mother lowered her head guiltily. My memories played across the screen. When I was 8, Susie came to live with us. She and I, along with her parents, had been in a car accident. Her parents had died on the spot. Her father was my father's best friend, so my father did not hesitate to adopt Susie into our family. My mother agreed readily. She'd always liked Susie. Ever since then, my life has become hell. Anything Susie liked, I had to give it to her, even if it were my textbooks and homework. I hadn't wanted to. The teacher will scold me, I protested. My father slapped me across the face. She just lost her parents. What's such a big deal about you giving up a notebook to her? Before our final exams that year, Susie took a liking to all the pens I owned. I refused to give them to her. My father grabbed a broom and beat me with it. You heartless, selfish girl. What's the big deal about these pens? Give them to Susie. As I screamed in pain, my mother hugged Susie and comforted her while she cried. It's all right. I'll buy you brand new ones. Eyes red, Susie said. But those pens look like the ones my mother gave me for my birthday. Shaking, I gave her my entire pencil case. Stop hitting me, I cried. Take them. Just take them all. I don't want any of them. I did not attend my exams that day. When I failed every single paper in my final exam, I was forced to drop out. You're too dumb for school anyway, my father sneered. Turning to Susie, his eyes softened. Susie's different. She's always been at the top of her class. I was the one who was always at the top of my class. My parents had always ignored how well I did in my studies. Soon, my mother got me a job in a factory. Work hard and make sure to send money home on time, she told me. Susie's tuition fees aren't cheap. Every word out of her mouth was about Susie. She ignored how I was pale from the pains of my first menstruation and the red stains on my pants. Working in the factory was exhausting, but the library there contained damaged textbooks and old discarded books. I would run to the library during my breaks to read and study. Some factory workers were somewhat educated, and seeing that I was young and eager to learn, they were happy to tutor me. Some even tried to enroll me in a nearby high school. I sent the majority of my wages back home, squirreling away the rest, hoping to return to school one day. However, one day, I fell sick and was late to send the money. My parents stormed into the factory, shouting and beating me. My coworkers tried to stop them. In the chaos, my books fell to the ground, and the money I had hidden between the pages fell out. My father kicked me in the stomach. How dare you hide money from us? I'll kill you. My mother tore the books into shreds. You're studying. You're just trash. Yet you're still dreaming of school. I knelt on the ground, begging my mother to stop. Please, Mom, don't do this. These aren't even my books. I had to borrow them. My father slapped me. How dare you talk back? "Your mother can do whatever she wants. You're wasting money on nonsense instead of using it where it matters." They tore my books apart, threw them into water, and stomped on them. They searched my dormitory, taking all of my money. They left nothing for me. Before leaving, my mother snarled, "If you have so much free time, go get another job. Susie needs money for her extracurricular classes." I had nothing left. My parents, entirely focused on Susie, never stopped to think about how I would eat or clothe myself without any money. The books were utterly destroyed. I couldn't return them, so I had to take on part-time jobs to earn money and pay back their value. One of the jobs was at a construction site, doing odd tasks and manual labor. It was even more grueling than the factory. One time, I dropped a whole bucket of cement because it was too heavy, and I was weakened from my menstruation pains. The foreman shook his head when he saw this and told me that I shouldn't work there anymore. I fell to my knees and begged tearfully, "I can do better. Please give me another chance." The foreman sighed and tried to help me up, but the cement had dried quickly, trapping my foot. In the end, the workers had to use a hammer to break the concrete apart, injuring my foot in the process. I was still let go from the job, but the foreman gave me another $300 out of pity. He told me to go see a doctor for my injury and get some decent food to nourish my frail body. I limped away. The money was hard-earned, and it was my birthday, so I wanted to treat myself. I went to a local pasta shop and ordered some pasta. Just then, my parents walked in with Susie. They had taken her out for a meal as usual, but they did not expect to see me there. My father was furious. "You hid money from us again, didn't you? You ungrateful brat." My mother lunged at me, tearing at my hair as she wailed, "You're all grown up now, eating out while ignoring your parents' suffering." They were well dressed. Susie was even wearing a puffy skirt with a bow, looking like a little princess. I was sprawled on the floor, my hair disheveled, and wearing ill-fitting clothes that had seen better days. My shoes were worn and soaked with blood from the wound on my feet. Still, I clutched my plate tightly, eating as fast as I could. It was the best meal I'd ever had. For a brief moment, I could forget all my pain. I saw Susie covering her nose, turning her head away in disgust. Seeing this, my parents were even more angry. My mother grabbed my hand as my father wrenched the plate from me and upended it over my head. "Go on, eat your fill." They left with Susie. Before leaving, my mother searched my pockets and took all the money I had. I sat there, sauce dripping from my hair, staring blankly at their retreating backs. They looked like a family. The manager refused to take my money. They even tried to offer me another plate, but I shook my head and limped out of the restaurant. It had begun raining outside. On the screen, my silhouette slowly disappeared into the rain. The online tribunal was silent. My parents shifted subtly, avoiding the judge's gaze. Susie kept her head down, refusing to look at anyone.